What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Two Cents, the show where we often ask why our wives get mad at us for taking too long in the toilet. I'm your host, Jay, and joining us right now is always
Jerry,
my
Dad.
co-host, yep,
Marcus.
and Marcos. So, welcome back, guys. Thank you for joining us. And how are you guys doing today?
Doing good, doing good.
Doing
How
good.
about
Doing good.
Yeah,
Doing
doing
good.
all right.
it's been a strange week. It's been a strange
It's
week.
been a very
Mhm.
strange week.
It's for you guys that don't know. So
Strange. No, it's
Last
not,
week.
Not strange week.
No,
Strange
it's
couple
been a
months.
strange couple months.
actually, yes, it's been like hot, real nice. We start taking things out for summer, spring, and then all of a sudden we get this little cold front, and then it rains.
Yeah,
It's all muggy and stuff, and then it just makes me not want to get out of bed.
I
So,
brought I brought a little bit of Colorado back with us. I think that's probably what it
yeah.
was.
I knew it. My knees hurt. Like as soon as my knees started hurting, I know. Like God,
My
dang,
knee,
the weather.
man.
is
I was
changing.
feeling my knee.
I
was
actually
feeling my
saw.
knee.
I actually saw. I didn't realize that every time you ever notice that, like when it gets a little colder, when it gets cooler, your knees or your back start hurting.
That's why I don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah, it's because of the weather or the pressure, and then you start getting that little rust
Yeah,
Yeah.
thing in the knee.
Mine's knees, elbows. Well, anyway,
deteriorating
I'll tell you what
out of
doesn't
old
hurt.
age.
It's probably a lot smaller list.
Well, not everybody's
what-
100
what's-
years old. So.
What's happening in the world today? Check it out. Did you guys see we had a bad storm, high winds, and
It's like the
it was
Dust Bowl here,
Man, it was like
like-
it was bad.
Last week,
Alliance lost some planes. You see
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
What
it's
happened?
a-
You were there.
I can't talk about it.
Oh, sorry
I'm
about
sorry.
it's classified.
Yeah, well, no,
Is
it's
it
not
really?
that
No.
it's classified. It's just I cannot speak up on behalf, unfortunately.
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
No, we get it, we
But-
get it. But okay,
But on the news, what you saw on the news is you saw the C-17 with those two things. That's public. Like everybody on the news saw it, even up in Kansas. Some of my friends saw
Really?
this. Like, dude.
Inform,
what happened?
Enlighten us. Enlighten the audience. The audience.
So
what are you talking
basically,
about?
if they didn't see on news, it's a public thing now. Like that's what I could speak
Are
on.
you talking about the planes that are?
Yeah,
that
the planes
crashed and
that,
stuff?
the
That's
planes
right,
that
that's
have
right.
crashed. But the thing is that I've seen a lot of like people post on the they be posting videos and said these two planes crashed into a military aircraft and so far there's no deaths. I'm like, it was just a storm. There was nobody involved. Like they don't have, like there's just a storm. There was literally nobody involved in that. That's where you don't what people see on there. They think, oh God, there was people driving or flying the planes, and it's just something like that. Now again, I can't speak too much on it, but that's one of the things that I've always thought like. With all these planes crashing and stuff like that, and now they're making it in the headline news because of the helicopter that ran into that one approaching American Airlines or the Delta that flipped over and whatnot. I don't think people realize how often in around the world crashes happen.
well, no, it's because to your thing is that a lot of the times is the media thing. The media feeds off of whatever people look at. So if they put out a news, right? Let's say they put a plane crash. Let's say a plane crash. Oh, look, a plane crash. Blah, blah, blah. The more people tune into that, oh, that
We need
gives
to put
us
that.
ratings.
Yeah.
Find me another plane,
Right.
and then they start searching what other accident happened in the aviation, and then they find another one. Oh, they jump on that because it keeps people glued. You see what I mean? But
Right.
it's not really reporting news because, like he says,
Mhm.
if you really look at it, I mean, I've been involved in aviation.
Right.
I've been involved with the FAA.
Yeah, you worked with the
There's-
Wright brothers,
there's-
didn't you?
well-
You worked with the Wright brothers, and I'm serious. That's like that's innovative right there. You work with the Wright brothers. It's amazing.
I did not work with the Wright brothers. Okay, I knew them, but I didn't. But it's basically that's the way it happens. Where there's incidents all the time. What makes these special is because people feed into it. So they say, "Hey, pick up on that, and let's do another one. Let's do another one." So
Yeah.
it doesn't become really news. It's more of a let's hunt a news that draws people in. Does that make sense?
But
It's like-
but you that, like you said, you've been working in aviation for your entire life. So
Pretty much.
back then, because there was no TikTok, there was no Facebook, there was no let's say like the 90s, for example. If there was a pattern like this, could we have heard it as much as we did now with that? Because there's there's not the internet to inform us that much about these crashes. You know,
Well, no,
but with that
journalists
then,
actually journalists were more in demand, if you will, camera pictures.
right?
I remember a crash that I was involved in. Well, I wasn't involved in it. It happened where I was, and I saw what happened, and I saw how it happened. I mean, when I say that, I mean I saw exactly when the plane was coming in and hit the barrier. This is old news, so it's already open. It's not
Right.
where it's classified.
It's
or
not.
whatever.
Yeah.
So,
Uh-huh.
plane was coming in, hit the barrier, and bellied in. Pilots were able to get out. Ball of fire. But the next day, or that happened during the night. So the next day when we came in, of course they had the runway closed. They had everything guarded through the night and everything. But we had helicopters trying to come in to our airspace like that, and then we had people at the front gate trying to come in, you know, and they were doing everything to get in. Like they were posting that they were literally calling people at home.
No way.
Like they were, how did they get my number? Back then, you know, we still had phones in our houses and whatnot. So you get a phone call, random phone call at home, and you had cell phones, but you never used your house phone, you know, because you still had the internet, because
Yeah.
you
Right.
still had the Wi-Fi anyway. But you get the phone call, and I remember some of my buddies there, they were coming to work. It's like, hey, dude, did you get a phone call? I was like, for what? He says, yeah, some reporters asking me questions about it. So it was still, you know, they were still
Whoa.
going out there looking at all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just nowadays it's a lot more
Easier.
easier because of the media.
The
And
media.
and again, everything revolves about ratings. You know,
Mhm.
TV shows.
Yeah.
What do you call it? News.
Yeah.
Revolves around ratings.
Right.
And the biggest thing is what's going to give us rating. And when they see that spike, plane crash. We were there. We covered it. It spiked. Bam! People were up there. Then they go look for more.
Yeah.
That's why. And then what happens? Then it turns into a trend where, why are all these accidents happen? We go back to the same thing you were saying.
Mhm.
They've been happening.
They've
It's
been
just-
So that
happening.
you
It's
just
just
no one
now
knew about it.
got the light. I
Or
mean,
is
it's
this,
just
it's not.
it,
Yeah.
it happens. And I had buddies of mine. They asked me. He was like, "Dude, what is up with that?" And I just tell them again, you do not realize how often this happens, because a lot of the time the media is showing what's happening in the United States, right? Oh, there was a small little Cessna that crashed or whatever. And I'm like, but if you go worldwide, go look up how many crashes are in the Europeans, in the European countries, Asia, all
anywhere,
of them.
Yeah.
You'll see that there's a lot of crashes too.
Another thing that I don't know, like I've noticed it in my phone. Like in my phone, I started looking at the pictures and everything of the alliance,
Mhm.
and then it's like it picks up that what do they call that?
It's an algorithm.
Algorithm.
Whatever
Yeah.
that is. That anyway, Alpha Male, whatever they call it. Anyway, but it picks up because now I've been getting a lot of what do you call it? What do they call those? They're not crashes, but they're
Near misses.
air misses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Near misses and air misses.
Right.
I've been getting a lot of those. I look at my and like
Man,
another one,
dude.
another one,
That's
and then I
insane.
go another one. So now I'm thinking,
What was it?
if I didn't know any better,
Yeah.
then I would say, man, this is so. What's gonna affect? Look at this. What's gonna affect? It's gonna affect people losing confidence in flying.
Flying.
Yep. It is.
Even though statistically speaking, it is still the safest.
But
way.
they come out with the what was it that they came out? What I heard was that it's the Earth axis it's changed, or what was it
Oh, the axis is tilting or
yeah,
something
the axis
like that.
is tilting or something, like
Ah.
it tilts every time in some area. You know, when we get to a certain part in space, I really don't know.
I don't even know about that for a pilot.
I'm
like
not a
I
space geek.
do know
But-
because I again in
Yeah.
the FAA I had a couple of friends. Shout out to Tim, if you see this, he's the one that taught me.
Oh,
He taught me, and he blew the flat Earth out of the water when he told me this. You know, because there's a lot of people with the flat Earth. And,
Yes.
if you're out there,
Oh,
flat
man.
Earth. Listen to me.
I don't even want to.
No, but there's people out there, right?
I know
So-
there's people.
So I asked Tim. I said, "Hey man, that is a good question. How does the plane not keep following and not fall off? Like it doesn't, because they're saying that's why the plane flies. If he's following true north, then he should be going and and go off the Earth because he's flying true north. Like he's
If
flying
it's a ball.
level.
Right,
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
So if it's a ball, it should be flying, like this. So I asked Tim, and Tim's like, "Oh, that's easy." So he put me on a bulletin board, and he says because Earth has a north, south, right,
Right,
east and west,
east and west.
right, magnetic fields.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but planes follow the Earth magnetic field.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't follow
It doesn't follow the
regular
north.
It
Yeah.
follows Earth magnetic
makes
field.
sense.
So whenever he's flying, he's flying north, right?
Yeah.
But it's flying keeping in contact with the Earth
Mm-hmm.
because it's flying Earth north, not space north.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I was like, it's like, wow, that's
well,
the
honestly,
easiest answer you
but that's
could
honestly
say.
that's not really a surprise. That's not really a surprise. Well, it's probably be a surprise to anybody.
Well, because
out
if
there,
you don't know,
if you don't know
you
about
think it's flying north, like north.
but I guess
I can fire a bullet
uh-huh.
and it should go all the way north, just keep on going.
Yeah.
Now in theory that's true because
Right.
but the bullet doesn't have a GPS or it doesn't have none of that. It just follows whatever it goes.
Right.
So in theory,
Eventually
yes.
it'll fall for gravity.
You see
and
what
all
I'm saying?
that,
But the
Mhm.
gravity is the pull Earth north. But if you have equipment that can pick up all that, it'll follow that trajectory.
that trajectory. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, I always
anyway,
had that. I always
see,
had that thing.
we learned something new.
every day. Every day
But
we
yeah,
learn something.
so this aviation, these crashes that they're saying, I look at TV and I look at the news and I'm like, for people that don't know, I mean, airplanes are, how should I put it? A plane can fly thousands and thousands of hours. And when I mean thousands and thousands of hours, it means it literally in the air, because that's how they determine how much time this plane has been in service. They have what they call airframe time, which means every time it flies, they have to log in every time it's off the ground.
Yeah.
So if you really look at some of these airplanes, they've flown. Hell, the ones I was
That's
working on
hours,
they were in the 12,000s. I mean, that's a lot of hours, not ground hours, but
Hey, pause. What was
I ran out of coffee. I just wanted some more. Sorry.
this? Is
Y'all left me nothing.
hey,
Y'all
Well, I
literally-
I made a
understand
big
that.
pot. I made a big pot of coffee.
y'all when I got
this
in there
is-
just
this
little
is
thoughts, so I figured I'd take
When-
some for you.
Oh my god!
you left me with nothing.
I didn't get anything either, so don't.
What do you mean?
Well, what else is
You
happening
got
in the
more than
news?
I did. You
What
got
else
more
is
than I
happening
did.
in the
You're
news?
you're deterring him from his point. Now he
Well,
didn't know where he was.
my bad.
What's
That's-
what?
Well,
you tell me?
no, I think the news in general. I think the news, whether you look at Fox or CNN, whatever that may be, on both sides can be.
That's the point that I was
can
going to
be
get
like,
across.
So, on both ends can be pushing sort of like how you say the
narrative.
the narrative, like
Well, that-
how you say they catch something and then
Oh, yeah.
it spikes.
Yeah,
I'm like,
That-
oh yeah,
that
let's,
is
let's
that,
put it
and
on
that's
there.
the point that I was going to get at earlier. Is that who was it that said it? I can't remember which actor it was, but he basically said because they asked him about that, the media or
Denzel Washington.
there it is, yeah,
Yeah.
because someone put out there that he was running for president, that or something like that,
Oh,
and shout out to Denzel, in case if he watches,
You're
He
invited
probably-
to
you're
come to our
invited.
show
Yeah,
if
you are
want.
invited.
he probably won't, but
Look, man, we can dream.
We can dream,
We
right?
can dream. But he said it. He's like, if you read the newspaper, you're informed. If you don't read, or what was it again?
If you read the paper, you're misinformed.
If you
If
don't read it, you're not
informed.
informed. And
Ill
but
informed.
somewhere in there he said he told the reporter, he's like, "What's your job now?" Because these days your job is just to be first, not to tell the
Not
truth.
to tell the truth,
Y'all are
but
just
to be
racing
first.
to be first,
Yeah,
and
that's
that is the issue, and
That
he's
is the
right.
issue right
He
there.
is right. And that's the problem with the media now, is that they don't care about the actual things that go on and happen. Something serious in a country that's happening, they leave it off the side because this is bringing ratings, like you said, and then they want to be first.
See,
And now there's this whole distrust with the media. At least from my part, I really don't
well,
trust it. at all.
again,
Yeah,
back in the
100%.
day, you had the journalists, and the journalists you see on TV, movies. that were made from some journalists. I like documentaries because number one, they're real. Like documentaries, they look into certain things and they tell you this is what we found. That's it. This is what we found. Yeah. That's why I love documentaries. Yeah. I also like the ones that are true stories. Based on true story, like true accounts. This is true. And then I start looking into it. I start doing my research. What really transpired? Because I get wrapped. Yeah. Me and my wife were very. Sometimes we're watching a documentary, or we're watching a inspired by a true story or a true story or something like that. And next thing you know, I look over, and I'm on the phone researching that. Yeah. What I'm watching, and she's looking over there going, "Wow,
that's real."
I mean, we're literally watching, But anyway, what that means is we like to fact check.
Exactly.
Okay. Back in the day, the journalists would actually do investigating. They would literally go out.
Find the truth. Yeah.
If they found a story, they had to go hunt it down, and that's why some got killed. Some got threatened,
and
some
had get fired.
They had no protection.
They had no protection. Yeah.
And now check this out. It's weird. Now they have all the protection they wanted, and they don't report on nothing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now to be honest, now they're just in there to be annoying.
And you know what's funny?
Exactly. Now they ask the question. What's that secretary from the White House? Levine?
The blonde lady?
The blonde lady.
The one that speaks for Trump?
Yeah,
the lady that comes in.
The one that's gun hole. Anyway,
yeah.
They were asking her a question, and the guy's like, I got a question, yes. Okay. The president said last time he was in office, he said it was 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you say that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then but now he's saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why the changing? That's the dumbest question I've ever heard.
Yeah. And you know what's hilarious? Is that it was foretold to how jokingly the media has become. You remember Rob Burgundy? You remember the movie? Okay. I can't remember if it's in the first one or the last one, where they're sitting there and then there's a high speed chase going on, and at the time it was like the 70s. Supposedly there was, you know what I mean? They're like, are we getting this?
It was
really? Shoot it now. Oh yeah, we're reporting a high speed chase. This and this and this and that. Like I'm like, that is the funniest.
And he was saying some
joke,
random stuff.
Some
that,
random stuff.
Everybody was like, oh my
goodness, but the high speed chase.
Yeah, and it turned out to be like an elderly man that was just going
crazy. Like,
but he was saying that there was
but they don't cut that part.
We don't know if it's a carjacking gone bad.
No, they don't.
Oh my God, he almost struck that. I truly get it. I think the biggest distrust is, I think truthfully, how you say the internet is it's just what ruins everything. I thought, even though I like TikTok, I'll scroll TikTok hours.
Same.
But truthfully, it is kind of like exhausting.
But even look how bad TikTok has gotten too. Look how bad TikTok has gotten, because like my wife, she'll see something about the media and the government and how the government is doing this, or how the how they're if they're saying that if they show her that if you walk with your left leg, there's a problem with you. That's all they tell you, and that's what she'll see, and she'll show me. She's like, oh my God, that's this guy, this and that. I'm like, and then I would get the same thing, but then you investigate more into it. Like, no, honey, no. Like, look at this. You know what I mean? This is there. You just saw that one clip in that one video, and you think that's it. That's the news.
Truly relying on people to, like, when you look at it, they'll be like, if you have a sore throat in the morning, you possibly have this, so you should take this. They're selling something.
Yeah. So this is what happens to me, though, and it works another way. To me, my wife looks at all these like project, like fixing stuff, right?
Right.
Y'all know that I like to fix all that stuff, and she'll see something, and then she'll go, "Oh, babe, look," and she stopped now because she got onto me. She'll look at it and say, "Oh, babe, look." I said, she goes, "Can you build me this?" And I look at it and I go, "Yeah, babe, I can build you that. Hell yeah, I can build you that. No problem." oh, well, when can we go get, what do you need to build it? And I go, well, I need the materials, right?
Mhm.
But you see that thing, that tool that he's using?
Yeah.
See that special tool he's using? I don't have one of those. I need one. Oh, you just want me to buy you tools? I said, no. You want me to build you that. He's telling you he can build it,
Right.
but he's showing you he's got the actual tools to build that. I don't.
Right.
You want me to build it? I need that tool.
You need the tool.
You see what I mean? So it kind of messes people up
Mhm.
because they show it and it's like, oh man, this is so nice. Lifting the truck, lowering the truck, the lowrider. When we lowered it, it was supposed to be a 1-day job.
Yeah.
It
How long
turned
did it
into a
take
whole
me?
weekend.
It took a whole weekend.
Was it a whole
Actually,
weekend?
no. It was
No,
whole
man.
two
Whole
weekends.
two
Yes.
weekends.
I want to
I
say.
remember
but,
y'all
but,
still
but you look
messing
at
with it.
videos. You look at videos, and they do it like in hours.
It's all edited.
And I'm like, well, I understand that, but I'm still like, wait a minute here, you know. So media, or I say what you see is you got to question what you see. That's just the bottom line. You got to question what you see. That's why I like our 2 cents here, because this is it. What you
Yeah,
see here,
exactly.
what you see, this
Yeah.
is what it is.
Exactly. Yep.
Truthfully, like
That's
if
what it is.
we don't even like we do try to fact check, but at the same time, it's what our perspective is
Right.
on
right.
the, either the
Right.
media, the internet,
Yeah.
how life is going. But like it's really up to the people to think for themselves, right?
Yes,
It is.
You
It
have
we
to.
can tell
it
them,
is.
we can tell
Whatever
people
it is,
everything that we want.
All right. So let's go to this. Let's go to this. Let's go further down. So now,
Perfect
check it out.
segue.
Perfect.
Let's do this. Nowadays, how many people do you know that can do everything? How many
Not
guys?
many,
I
not
can.
many.
many
I'd be
guys-
surprised if
how
I could
many-
find
Many.
somebody that
Oh,
can do
I got-
one thing.
No,
You
I
see
got
what I'm saying?
stories on stories on that
so,
one.
so that's what I'm getting at. Is,
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I learned it. I learned plumbing. Hell, I think about the only thing I haven't done is underwater welding. But I, you know, what I'm saying is, growing up, it was something that you had to what do you call it? You had to do. You had to learn all these trades.
Right.
You know what I mean? You had to, because you didn't have the funding to work on to take your car to the shop. So you had to learn that. You didn't have the funding to call the plumber and say, "Hey man, I got my boiler went out."
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So you learned all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that I did. But now, as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize there's a lot of people that don't. Like that,
I'm
that
one of
don't
those too.
know.
It's not just you.
You know what?
It's not just, like no. What I'm saying is not just your generation either, but the generation in my growing up in like our generation and stuff.
Whoa, wait.
You know what I mean? What?
Hard line there when you say generation there.
What do you mean?
Hard line there.
I mean, because you're from, you know, Generation X. You know, what is it? I'm 32, and I'm, what is it?
You're a millennial.
millennial,
Is what it say?
Right. I noticed that even guys my age, we still know a thing or two about doing things here and there. You know what I mean? But not like the generation before us. And then, but further down, if we look at the other kids and stuff, there's not a whole lot. Like you're a rarity. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that's a rarity thing. It's just like
Well, I think it's
again,
because
it's not just you that's noticing that. I'm even noticing how bad it's gotten.
Yeah,
These kids
growing
don't know
up,
nothing.
growing up is like looking at dad doing all the things. When he came home, he worked on mechanics for the aviation, but he also worked on his truck, so he's a mechanic on automotive. And then he was a volunteer fireman at one point. He goes to fight the fire. I think growing up, I see that ambition, and then
Yeah.
when I was thinking,
Yeah.
like, I find myself that if I stay in a job and I've been in a job for a long time, I get bored.
True.
You get bored because you're not learning anything else.
Right.
So like, you know, in a point of like, I want to make a career, because he says make a career, but at the same time, it's like, if I do make a career, if I stay there for too long, I'm like, I don't want to be here. I need to learn something else. Keep
That's
me
how I get.
entertained in that career for long enough,
That's how
and
I get, yep.
I'll stay there. But if
Yep.
they're not giving me nothing, I don't have a reason to be there, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, but you can also pick up hobbies, like work on your hobbies.
Yeah.
You got your truck, so you can work on your truck. But it's true, because even where I'm at now, like I go in now, and they already told me I can't move up.
Yeah.
It's weird because they say you have all the experience.
You're
in the
too
world.
qualified, they say.
Like, yeah, you're
Yeah,
too qualified.
too qualified.
So I don't know what I can't even comprehend what that even means. But anyway,
Yeah.
so
I think it's
they
just
tell me
headache.
that,
Yeah.
and then I can't move up. So if I can't move up, now I'm like, okay, if I cannot move up, then what am I doing here? Like I'm maxed out.
Pretty sure it's just
You
an
see what I
excuse
mean?
because they
The
say
only
you're
reason,
too old or something.
well, the only reason I'm there is because I still have my home projects, and those keep me busy up here. See
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's why it's very important that, careers are great, but you got to get your mind detached.
Speaking
Pick
on
up
that,
pick up something. Pick up a hobby. Now, here's the thing about hobbies, man. I mean, playing golf, playing all that. I get it; those are hobbies, but get your hands dirty.
Yeah.
work on a
You
car
know
or
what I mean?
something
Work
like
on a
that.
car,
something,
learn how to do
because-
this. Yeah.
because those talents are diminishing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I talk to my buddies at work, and I'm like, hey, dude, plumbing, whatever. Oh, I'm building this. I'm doing this, and so I'm like, man, you know how to do that? Yes, I do. I do.
Yeah.
You know
what I mean?
I want to put a little bit. I want to put my 2 cents on one thing though. When you said, "Oh, get your hands dirty" and stuff like that, because it's like it's diminishing, right? You said diminishing. I went to school for automotive, as you know. I did my courses. Man, I honestly I did better in my automotive technicians classes than in high school. Like that's the thing, and that's what sucks about that is that there's no more trades in high school. But that's another conversation. But I was trying to get to the point where I was in there, and mind you, I go in there because I want to learn something, and I learned a lot.
Yeah.
But then there's like you see all these other people, and they come in with the mentality that as if they come here and they don't try to learn something, they're gonna come out of it with something.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing that sucks because you see they were younger than me, and they were like, "Oh yeah, they're having fun or whatever," but they're goofing off and they don't really learn anything because they're over there asking me for help, and you're just
Right.
like, "Dude, we covered this. We did like a whole class, 3 hours, him explaining what you need to do, and you're still asking me how to do it, how to solder, how to do this." They don't even like. We sat there for like a whole week to learn how to solder, and we did a couple solders, and the homeboy still didn't pass. Like, dude, like you, and it's not. It wasn't even. You didn't have to do a circuit board. It was just one wire to one wire solder,
Okay,
and it was so bad.
so here's a story, man. Here's a story along those lines. So I was back in high school, okay, many moons ago, and I was in high school, and your Theo Freddie wanted to go
Uncle,
to UTI.
for people that don't know that.
Uncle, sorry for those bilateral is Theo. Anyway,
Bilateral.
by language.
so
Bilingual.
so my uncle, my brother went to UTI.
Same
So then at school, I wanted to go to UTI. Like I was like, dude, my brother's up there. I didn't know nothing about aviation. Remember, that wasn't even in the picture.
Right.
So I wanted to be a mechanic. Like really, I wanted to do body work.
Mhm.
But there wasn't really back then. There wasn't really schools for body repair. So, but I said, well, okay, I'll learn automotive, and then I'll learn body work later on.
Mhm.
But right now, I need to get a job. I want to do automotive. So
Right.
I took automotive classes and whatnot, and junior year, sophomore year, they have those careers that they come into your school, and one of those was UTI, which was that institute where you
Yeah.
graduated. So I'm like, dude, I'm there, bro. I'm gonna do that, right?
Yeah.
So I talked to the guy, and I felt good. Hey, my brother's already over there. Like, oh, really? Well, hell, you know what's going on. Yeah, I want to go to that school. I had a friend who out of the blue, he wasn't in my automotive class in school. He wasn't in my automotive class. He wasn't in on any of my, but he was a good friend of mine. But he showed up, boom. And then he goes, "Oh, I'm taking automotive too." And I was like, dude, do you know, I didn't know you worked on cars. Dude.
Yeah.
all these years, man, we could have been working on cars together.
Yeah.
Well, I really don't work on cars. I don't know nothing about cars, to be honest with you. But I need to do something. So I figured I'll learn how to work on cars so I can get a job.
Mhm.
And I go, and this is after the guy had left and everything. And I told the guy, I got separate. I told him, so what do you do? What do you know about cars? He goes, nothing. I said, do you know any tools? No. I said, dude, then that school's not for you. Here's my point.
Yeah.
People, if you're talking to your kids, and these are my kids, they're right here, they can tell you, both successful. I can tell you this. Dads, padres de familia, dads, teach your kids the basics.
Yep.
Because if you don't teach them the basics and they go off to these trade schools, they're going to fail.
They're gonna
Yeah.
fail.
They're
I've
gonna
seen so
fail.
many people fail like that. Yeah.
And
The basic concept of learning tools, screwdrivers, wrenches, sockets, it's very important. So for you dads, take the time to make sure that they're learning the basics. Because when they want to go to school, they go out there, they're not going to be lost. And then they're going to be, you're basically, if you don't do that, you're basically doing this. Go to school, take a trade school, go. And then you're going to pay, what is it, 50,000?
Like, yeah, close to, it's like 30, 40,000.
30,000 for school. And then he
It's
fails.
only going up to.
And now you put him in debt.
Yep.
And then you go back and get mad at him for not paying attention. Think of the irony on that. Whose fault is it? It's not his, because he don't know how to hold a screwdriver. No, it's your fault because we did not take the time. I learned this lesson from my mom and dad. I learned my lesson from my mom and dad.
Uh-huh.
My dad would always take us to work. He poured concrete, roofing, plumbing, yard work, whatever. That was my dad. And every summer and every time after school, he would take us. And Saturdays, I dreaded Friday afternoon, Saturday
Sounds
morning,
like something I
and
did.
Sunday.
Yeah.
I dreaded it.
Did you really? 'Cause-
Yes,
Oh,
man, I
man.
dreaded it.
Because it
But you
sounds,
know
a
what?
lot like,
I could
But
never
you know why?
Yeah.
So this is what happened. So one day I'm at my dad's house and I'm drinking coffee with my dad, and I was gonna go do a job. I was already married. He was about 10, maybe less. I think it was like 9, something like that. He was also small.
7.
I mean, they were still, they could help. I just didn't want them to help because they would always be in the way. They were always playing around, never listened to me, da da da. Anyway, so I went to my dad and I told my dad, I says, man, my mom asked me, hey, where are the boys? And I said, well, the boys are at the house. They're asleep. It was a Saturday. And she goes, well, aren't they old enough to be going to work with you? And I said, why? They just get in the way. They're always playing. They don't listen to me. I have a hard time just making them understand what I want them to
I
do.
think I know where this is going.
My dad was sitting there. Yeah, he was sitting there like this, drinking his coffee. He looked at me and he went like this. And I said, what's the joke? Why are you laughing? He goes, you want to tell him? He told my mom. You want to tell him or should I tell him? I looked at my mom and said, tell me what? My dad goes, do you think all those years that I took you with me, I wanted you? I didn't want you with me. You were playing around, never paid attention. You were always jumping around. And I said, well, Dad, then why did you take me? My dad looked at me straight in the eye and said, but look at all the stuff you know how to do now.
So the lesson to take away from this is Grandma was the culprit as to why
Yes,
the dad would
yes,
go over
yes.
there. Okay.
Yeah.
Grandma
now we
was
know.
the one, Grandma was the one
Well,
that was like,
But
But
thank you,
they-
Grandma.
But
Thank
but
you.
yes, but the thing is that when you were saying like dads like teach them, no, don't just try.
no,
Sometimes
no.
force them.
Sometimes,
them
to take it.
sometimes you
Force
have
them
to
to do
force
that.
them. You have to force them to learn.
It builds character. It builds a lot of stuff
Social
for them.
skills can be
Social
developed,
skills, you
all
know. So
that
by the
stuff.
time some of y'all want to go, anybody trying to enlist in the army or go in the army, if the sergeant's yelling at you, it's not going to phase you because you know what? You
Be
held the
kicked.
flashlight for your dad. It's
You
not
know,
going to hurt your feelings, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, ask military members. Military members, if you were in basic training, how many of them started crying because they've never been yelled at?
Yep.
That's my point. See, even when you get a job, like if you get a job, they have to learn that the person leading, which is the supervisor, the lead, they're in charge.
I-
And then,
I can-
and
I-
then if you
I'm gonna
if you
jump in
make
on
a
that here in a
mistake,
sec.
if you make a mistake, you should be able to stand up for it, admit it, and take your whatever the punishment is, because that's integrity. I made
Yeah.
a mistake.
Lesson learned
Yep.
there.
I'm here.
Let me. Yeah.
I'm ready for whatever it is. If you're gonna yell at me, I'll take it
Yeah.
because I screwed up.
Let me jump in going into that point where you said that, because even in jobs, and like I said, going back to the point of not you just seeing but me seeing it, going into jobs where, you know, I had a job, I worked on the flatline, I worked, you know, in the same area, but I worked in the FBO side, and so I had a, you know, I was getting put into this position of leadership a lot, and I would, you know, just I wouldn't know what to do. I don't know simply what to what
No, no,
was
keep
that
going,
the
keep
phone?
going, keep
Like,
going.
they just
Oh, yeah.
Keep going.
No, I know.
This is how
Um,
we do it. Just because it's on video doesn't mean anything.
No,
You
I
just
know,
keep
man.
going,
I know.
right?
We're doing this
We're
live
just
and
doing
raw
it live.
and doing
We're
it.
doing it live. He said. Have
No,
you seen that
but
video?
I think
that
I
news
did.
guy.
I think
he
I
was like,
did. Yeah,
he's like,
yeah, I
okay, we're
did.
doing it live. Yeah.
Anyways, going back to my point. There's a bunch of kids that were 18, 17 years old, and some of them did good. Some of
Young
them held their
kids,
own. Yeah. And but there's this one kid where, you know, I was teaching him a couple things, and that's my thing. That's my job. I feel as a person, no matter if you're in a position of leadership or not, you always look out for your fellow man. That's always been the thing. If you're in a team setting, that's always been
Be willing to teach.
be willing to teach, but at the same time be willing to learn.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyways, he was willing to learn. It's just he didn't comprehend it as much.
Yeah.
Like if we were putting an aircraft inside a hangar, you know, and we were towing it with the electro, and I was tailing it in, you know, and I told him, look, this is how you do it. You know what I mean? Like it's like backing in a trailer but backwards. Did that make sense to you?
Mhm.
Backing in a trailer but backwards, right? Yes, we're already going backwards, but we're facing the trailer and we're putting it in, for anybody that didn't know. But I told him, like, is that backing in a trailer, you know, like that? And all of a sudden he said, oh man, I don't know how to back a trailer up. I'm like, all right, cool.
Now we know where we're at.
Now we know where we're at, and that's kind of the thing that kept going. Okay, and then going on, it was my birthday. You know, it was my birthday. I went to work. You know, and we're sitting there, and same kid. He's like, "Oh man, happy birthday!" I'm like, "Yeah, thank you." He's like, "Oh man, yeah, you know, you didn't get your day off." I'm like, "You didn't take a day off?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, well, I don't know. You know, I would have taken the day off. My dad wouldn't let me take a day off. He'd take me to work all the time. It sucked." I'm like, well, I bet it sucked, man. But, you know, he had you under his roof who, you know, needs to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So it's his birthday, okay. But and I told him, I'm like, I don't know how old she was, my daughter at the time. She was barely born. She's like, I had a newborn at home and I got a wife. I got to feed the kids. You know what I mean? Like, that shouldn't be an excuse. But what I'm getting at is again, going back to the point of, you know, it teaches them skills, social skills, how to build up the character, how to know what's going on in their life to be responsible for them to keep going, not let any little thing throw them off.
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
And that's the thing. And I was so surprised.
You'll be more
you know, I was so
successful.
surprised when that happened.
You'll be
You
more
know?
successful if you do that.
Yeah.
You'll be more successful in your life if you do that, because you're not gonna be set back. In other words, in here, a lot of times I talk about is subconsciously. Subconsciously, we stop ourselves from doing certain things just because, even though we say we're not, you know, but we do it.
Yeah.
And we don't know why we do it. Yes, you do. It's back here. It's subconsciously, you don't do it. Why? Because you're either afraid to try, or the very first thing to say is, well, I was never taught. Well, learn. You see what I mean? Learn. You know, and I always taught my boys that it's all up here where you never think about a problem or something that you want to do or try more than 8 seconds. If you do it more than 8 seconds, you're going to talk yourself out of it, and that's for everything. If you want to apply for a job, if you think about it for more than 8 seconds, you won't apply for it, because it's either too hard, or my resume is not good enough, or I don't know if I want to work there because I don't know what they do. Who cares what they do? You're gonna learn it.
Yeah.
but you're never gonna learn. You're never gonna know if you don't try it. So when you start thinking that way, you're talking your way out of it. If you want to go to school, if you want to take classes for whatever the case may be, and you think about it for more than eight seconds, you'll talk yourself out of it. That's always been my goal. That's always been my thing. Is if something was asked, can you do this? And then as soon as I'm thinking, my clock starts in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, don't get me wrong. There's certain things that are asked of me.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to do this or can you do this, and I just flat out don't want to do it.
Right.
And then I don't even count. Then I can tell you with all sincerity, you know what? No, man, I can't. I'm not gonna get myself involved in that. But if I do have a curiosity on it, then yeah, I'll start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, because you'll go farther in life when you accept those opportunities that are handed to you.
Yeah.
And the opportunities are everywhere. It's opportunities everywhere. It's just a matter of do you take it or do you talk yourself out of it?
Yeah.
You know what the biggest thing for I feel like in our generation too is that we fail to go to do a job that sucks, but it pays the bills. It pays money. It sucks, but it's not the job that I want. But it could be. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like I feel like I've noticed that. Like for me,
hold on. What's that guy's name? Sorry if I messed up the mic. What's that guy's name? Mike. Dirty Jobs.
Oh, Micro.
Micro. If you watch this,
again.
Shout out. Yeah, if you want to come on the show, yeah.
I'll invite you. This is our 2 cents about that. Jobs. Go ahead.
No, yeah. So there are people out there that, especially if you watch Dirty Jobs, not sponsored. The thing is that he shows these people that actually do their job. There's a guy that like literally dumps the lavs on when you go to the fair and there's like the porta potties.
Yeah.
There's a guy that has a truck. He goes over there, hooks up, and he even says, "Dude, this is the best job I've ever had." And he makes money. He makes good money, and he's just every day dumping piss about everybody. Heck, in aviation, I've done that. I've done that several times. It sucks. I don't like it, but it's part of my job. It pays the bills, and then people don't understand is that just because there's a job out there that's like, I don't want to be there. I don't want to do the job. Doesn't necessarily like you cannot just find the job that you want like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't.
But at the same time, I can go back on experience on that. I used to work at a trailer company. I hated it. Oh, good Lord, did I hate it? You know, I hated waking up, and it was like 5 o'clock. Had to be there like at 6, going over there because of bad management, other situations like that.
Of course, yeah.
But the thing that I didn't learn as well, because there's another side to that coin that you were saying, is that what I didn't learn at the time was that I needed to just leap and just go, I don't like this job. I need to start finding another one that I'm gonna like, and that's kind of the thing that taught me is that if I don't like where I'm at, move. That's it. You don't, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of a weird thing that I have. You don't move, you're done. You move, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna keep going. Always make that next step.
Did you learn something from that job though?
Yeah, no, yeah. I learned. I improved on a lot of stuff, and I thank it every day because it taught me how to be quicker thinking, being on my toes and everything like that. But at the time, I also needed to learn
to move on.
Yeah. And at the time, I didn't have. It's not that I didn't have anybody. People did tell me, it's not. It's dude. That's not just that's not the only thing. That's it. You know what I mean? But you have those people that tell you, no, this is the job. You have to do it. You have a family. Feed your family. And to that certain extent, that's true.
Yes, that's true.
But also keep moving.
What's Charlie? What's his name?
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Crokin.
Charlie what?
Kirkin.
You need to describe the person before you say something, man.
He's the one that talks.
He
does a lot of.
Oh, Charlie Kirk. Yeah.
There you
go.
Charlie Kirk. Yeah.
Another one. Hey, you're invited.
Here's
why.
We got to start making a list. Drop
why.
an email or something.
Here's why. Here's why. Look, I like the guy because he goes to these colleges and he says college is a scam, and I'm a firm believer in that. I am a firm believer. Now, what people misunderstand what he says is, and I saw his videos, and I'm like, everybody's so honed in on him saying, what do you call
College
it?
is a
College
scam.
is a scam.
Yeah.
The problem is that if you're going in for a particular trade, and I mean something that's gonna benefit you,
Doctor.
let's say doctor, exactly.
Yeah.
There is a career path there.
Yeah.
But when you're going for
General.
I'm going to go for business administration. Have you ever heard that people go for business
Every
administration?
single time.
Every single time.
marketing.
Yeah,
Business-
business
business
marketing and
administration.
all that stuff.
And the first thing I ask is, okay, what are you going to be opening a business? Well, no. Okay, what are you going to do as far as like?
I don't know.
Well, they teach me to run a business and blah 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 blah. I'm like, really? Does it really teach you to run a business? Because I've talked to people that've been there. It's basically all this literature, mathematics, and all that crap. You know what I mean? It teaches you, the numbers and whatnot of the, and I'm like, that doesn't. So how is that going to help you? Like I don't understand. So in my job, one of the managers who started on the floor,
Right.
he had to play the game, and it's sad to do that you have to play the game.
Right.
I could get a degree in basket weaving just to become a manager, even though I have 30 some years of experience in managing, supervision, coordinating, emergency coordinating, all that stuff. It's under my belt, right? With multi-million-dollar aircraft, with 80 to 100 personnel, all of this stuff. But because I don't have a degree,
They don't want you.
They don't want
they
it.
can't.
Yeah.
So now here's the thing, though. He was saying, he said, go get a degree that just gives you, whatever, a year or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I'm 51 years old, man. I'm comfortable. I made it. I did it. I proved a lot of people wrong in my career. I did. I proved a lot of people wrong in my career.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was the one that turned it, because when he was trying to change it, that he would not hire outside people with degrees to take over supervision. He wanted people from the floor, and he didn't care if they had degrees. No,
Right.
he wanted the skill and the ability to lead.
Right.
That's what he was going to hire. Elon Musk, he came out and openly admitted it. I will never hire college people.
I never heard that one.
Yeah, look it up. Half of his, most of all his higher ups, they all came from the floor. And the company's still successful.
And we're
You
not
see what I'm saying? But-
and we're not saying
Well, no, my point is,
yeah.
if you're going to go to college, make it count.
Yes.
Yes.
Go for
Yes.
something that's going to help you
In anything.
in the world.
Lawyer,
in anything. And it's-
doctor,
Doctor, lawyer,
Psychologist.
Yeah, what we're trying to
something
say
that's
is like we're always going to need roofers, we're always going to need plumbers, do all that, people that do in different areas of job wise. But we're saying is there's more than one avenue. That's all it is. It doesn't have to be like
and then don't be so narrow minded.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
here's what happens. I'll give you an example. My brother. My brother's a good example, and he's very successful. He's in Houston. Shout out to my carnal, Freddie. He's in Houston, and he went to UTI, right? Not a bad school. Don't get me wrong. This is a good school.
It's
I
a
went-
good school.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I
like
went to
it.
go look at it, dude. They're tip top, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, he went through his school. He's never worked on cars. We laugh about it. I'm serious. We laugh about it because I one day I asked him. I said, "Hey man, I was working on my son's car, and I was talking to him. Hey, I was working on, I think it was Chapo's car or something. Man, it's got a bunch of computers and stuff, and dude, I don't understand it." And he was he was just laughing about it. He's like, "Yeah, man, that's why I don't mess with them things." And I'm like, "Really?" I said, "So what do you do with your truck?" He goes, "I just take it to the shop." I'm like, "Seriously?"
I
He goes,
mean,
yeah, I take it to the shop.
but look where he's at though.
No, but see,
Yeah.
that's my point.
Yeah,
The point
that's
is-
the point. Yeah.
That's the point is, he did go to school for automotive, but that helped him in the job that he's at.
Yeah.
See, he started sweeping
Yeah.
floors.
Yeah.
Back in the day, he started sweeping. I remember
Yeah.
he was sweeping floors, and then he started becoming a mechanic helper, and then he became a mechanic, and then he started moving up. Right now, he's He sits behind. Okay. The only thing the only way I can describe what he does is, you ever see Homer Simpson
Yeah.
sitting behind all the computers at work?
Yeah.
That's my brother. That's what he does. I ain't gonna lie.
Man.
That's the only way I can describe him, because he tells me every time what he does,
You
and
know,
he's got a big fancy title about this big that I cannot repeat. But he's been very successful. And when you look at him, he's like, he's never touched a car. So what I'm saying is, just because you go get a degree, don't keep yourself focused on, oh, I can't get a job in that field.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah,
hard to get a
yeah.
job in that field.
Mhm.
No. Always remember, you need to look for the opportunities, not necessarily the way that you want it. Let the opportunity, the door opens, take it, because he makes more money in the job that he does than he will ever make working on cars.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he's not proud of the school. He is proud. He went to school.
Yeah.
But he's making more money in the opportunities that were given to him, and he climbed
It's
up
just
the ladder,
it's
and he
just
made it. So now he's got that. Dude, it's
Yeah.
like me.
Yeah.
I didn't go to school.
Mhm.
I didn't go to school. I'm not gonna lie. I went to high school. I went to automotive, and then they offered me aviation, and I was like, 8-second rule. I was like, man, I don't know. And then it started 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I said, I'll do it. And here I am. I'm retired. I have a career in aviation. I'm retired. I'm working with aviation again, but you follow the opportunities. You don't follow because, I got this degree on basket weaving, so I'm going to learn and I'm going to open a shop in basket weaving. No. Because if one gives you a better opportunity, then take it.
Yeah.
Here's a good question that you need to ask. Whenever you meet people like that, ask this question. If I was to pay you $10 an hour, or $10 per outhouse that you clean. I got a company, it's outhouses. I'll pay you $10 per outhouse. With the jobs you have today, would you take it?
No.
No,
I wouldn't,
right?
no, I
Why?
wouldn't.
Because you make more money now,
Yeah,
right?
I make more money
Okay,
now. Yeah.
cool. Now, same question, but check this out. With a little twist. I'll pay you $200 per outhouse. Do the math.
if I do 5, that's 1,000. That's
You do the math, man. I ain't gonna do math.
So I'm just saying,
No.
200 per outhouse,
200
5,
per house, yeah.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
10,000. 1,000, yeah.
If you could do 20, you make $2,000 in one day.
Yeah.
Would you take it?
I mean,
I said,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I'll take that.
I don't have any experience for cleaning bathrooms. I could just,
I mean, you see, what I'm trying to say, and what I'm trying to share is, keep an open mind, because a lot of times we miss the opportunity just because we don't want to fall into that, because that's not what I went to school for.
30 jobs.
But not knowing that an air conditioner guy is making 3 digits or 6 digits.
He could make
Is
it
it 6
six.
digits?
Sometimes
I
they
think
can make
something like that.
Some of them are making-
figures,
some
of them are
especially if
making-
they own if you
Yes.
own your own company.
If you own your
Yeah.
own company, you're making 6 digits. So think about that.
Yeah.
So the heck with college. Hell, if they offer me a job, why am I not going to take it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
So anyway, the take is again, be careful. Make sure you know where you guys, if you go to school,
Just
pick
to
the
wrap
right
this
school.
up,
Yeah, pick the right school.
Parents, fathers especially, encourage them to learn. And sometimes they might get mad. But take it from a person from experience. It's the afterwards that's going to make it all worthwhile.
All right.
That's our 2 cents, because we have 3.
And that's all the time we have for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. We will be dropping more episodes every Friday, so tune into that. And also, if you guys can hear us a little funny on the sound, it's because we got new mics, so we're kind of upgrading our little, little
We
studio
tested
here.
it.
We
Sounded
tested it,
decent,
so
but
let
next
us
time,
know
hopefully we can have
if you guys can hear us. Put it in the comments. Let us know. Write it down. Hey, we can hear you guys. That way it could help us out. But
for the couple of viewers at least for now, right?
yep, for the couple, yeah. But hopefully we can do all that. And like I said, tune in on Fridays. Anyways, this has been 2 cents, and thank you for joining us.